Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Dimas Aditya, and in this video I will present my group summary of Introduction to Scriptwriting. So first, we're going to the first point. It is the Introduction to Scriptwriting. One of the most important notes to take in scriptwriting is the showing of the storyline, so scriptwriter must be able to focus on the main theme of the story. Unlike any other media, within scriptwriting there is a concept of scene and sequence that tells small parts of the story. Within scenes or sequence must have points that connects to the story as they play critical parts in building it. Just like most other writing, script writing has its own structure. Simple structure of script can be described with having a sequence that build up the atmosphere to captivate the audience, protagonist background and their motives in solving their conflicts. Middle, continuation of the conflicts, viewing more on the protagonist as other character motives in the story. Ends, usually the combination of the climax and resolution. Another important aspect of a script are the dialogues that help on setting and the character personality, or helping on hinting the story to the viewer, since scripts are used for performance. Important note to take that to write an interesting script, one must be able to combine conventional way of storytelling while adding the flavors to writing with unconventional to create a unique storytelling. Now we continue to writing for stage. Writing for stage implies that you are writing words that will be spoken by actors and heard by an audience. If you're writing for actors, then actors are your vehicles, your instrument. So it is important that you have a lot of experience regarding theater itself, whether it's inside the play or outside. Aristotle names and describes 6 ingredients that he noticed as occurring in the plays: three non-perishable elements and three more perishable elements, which are plot, character, thoughts, diction, music, and spectacle. There are various ways to playwrights approach writing a play, and one of them are from the subject. The subject of the play is the material from which the play is formed. We can look at subject in psychological terms. The subject is one whose action are studied, musical term. The subject is principal theme or phrase of a melodic composition, or a philosophy terms, the subject is a perceived reality. The limitation of stage are also the places where the stage is unique and transcendent. Exploring this boundary is what writing play is all about. You can explore them alone because working with actor, directors, designer, and an audience is a necessary step. And then we continue to writing for radio. Writing for radio script can be challenging because the media was broadcast with an audio only, so there are several concepts that writer must understand in writing a script for radio. Now the first concept is we have clarity and description to the work, so we can have the story more be clear and the description of the character can be more clear while having broadcasted. And then we have character identification. Now character identification can be used for the audio only. It can be more clear with the usage of character trait or the voices of the character. And then we have sound effect and the music to enhance the atmosphere of the story. And then we have conflict and dialogue to enrich the story itself. Now the conflict and the dialogue must be able to represent the story and the sequence that are in the stories. And then we have perspective changes where the perspective may be changed to another character or to another protagonist. And then we have sound effects and emotion. It is more the emotion of the sequence that is portrayed in the audio. And then we have minimalist writing. Now while we have to be more clear, but it is important too that we have a writing that is minimalist so it doesn't over describe. And then we have mass and we have dialogue addresses and end of scenes. Notes to take, writer must be able to master vocabulary that can ignites the listener imagination. And then we have writing for television. In this present day, one of the writing profession that being looked by media is script writing, and the media that mostly suits for this writer is television that make television series. There are few concepts to understand in order to start script writing for television. The television writing sample. If one wants to be a script for a series, there are few things that they must be able to do. First, they must be able to sample the existing element of the series beforehand, which include character and conflicts. Secondly, a series usually have those who are called the creator, and if you want to be a scriptwriter for the creator series, you must be able to follow the creator's ideas. You can start up with writing what is called speculation script, a writing sample to impress the creator or executive of the series. Television series hallmarks. Hallmarks are the style or uses of storytelling devices that are implemented on the series. One must understand what makes the story work and captivate the viewers. The nuts and bolts of writing the spec. In the series, we have what we call an episode, a story within the main story of a series that build. An episode of series based on the genre, there are the 1 hour drama and the half hour situation comedy. The 1 hour drama has the story premises that consist conflict source, central protagonist, antagonist, and the protagonist's goal. The structure of an episode includes Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. All these are separated by act break because the advertisement program. For Act 1 to 3 usually have a mini climax before an advertisement to captivate the viewer. Each have their own goal. Act 1 as a prologue to introduce the conflict, Act 2 as a first part of rising action, Act 3 as a second part of the rising action, and Act 4 as a climax and resolution. And then we have the health hour situation comedic, have the same structural build but it only utilizes 2 acts and conflicts, and the conflict is rather more ridiculous. Usage of humor in comedic must follow the antics of the show and know what things can make people laugh. The Act 1 usually contains how the protagonist recognizes the conflict and end up with the humorous spin. In Act 2, the protagonist tries to solve the conflict but instead worsens it, proceeding to the climax and acts of resolution, and ended with they coming back to the state as the same as the starting point of the show. There are other few forms of television writing such as movie of the week, written synopsis of the story that emphasize the theme of a movie, the daytime drama series, reality stories, and the improvised scene. And then we move to the American television and British television. There are few differences on the television show from America and British. For example, both of country television show to captivate viewers so they don't change channel in order to generate more income. But America was more extreme on this. And then we have the television station where America has more national television while British have what they call the independent television. Okay, now we continue to writing for film. Writing for film is known as screenwriting. This form of writing requires discipline and creativity. One way to learn how to be a screenwriter is to watch films from a scriptwriter view and read many screenplays. There are few concepts you must understand in scriptwriting. There is the premise or the theme of your story that builds up the expectation from the viewers, and then we have the genre and the audience. So we must know what kind of aspect that captivates the audience in certain genre enjoyer. And then we have the log line. It is mainly the two line or one line of a sentence that describe the whole story. And then we have the synopsis which is the main is the broken images of the story to describe a bunch of whole of the main whole story without spoiling any of the story itself. And then we have the characters, which is really the characters itself. It is really important to the story to build up the story. And then we have there is several concepts like the hero's journey, a form of story that follows 12 steps of a hero. The steps like the ordinary world, the call to adventure, refusal to of the call, meeting the mentor, crossing the barrier, test allies and enemies, the mysterious place, unexpected conflicts, the road home, resurrection, and return with the goals achieved. And then we have a diagram, a visual structure of story within 3 acts. Act 1, introduction and setting up the conflicts. Act 2, obstacle and building the tension edition. Act 3, climax and resolution. And then we have treatment, basically combining all the structure, storyline, and characters to be more organized and does not stray away from the premises. And then we have formats, which the script physical form that the writing there is shaping the script to differentiate the premises of scene, character action, and dialogue. And then we have scene by scene, that means the viewing on how the scene would be played when all performed during shooting. And then the most important part of screenwriting, that is the screenwriter must be able to rewrite as many as possible to achieve the most good, the most best version of the script. Okay, that is my group conclusion. Thank you very much for the attention. I close my video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.